This is the new Range Rover Sport, and I'm very proud to show you all the rear design. Feels just at home. Now they've played it too simple. Yes, everyone, it is right here. The all-new Range Rover Sport. Now, I'm going to tell you all about the philosophy behind the Range Rover Sport. In fact, if you want me to be honest, I make a confession to you all. I was never a big fan of the Range Rover Sport, but I can completely understand the philosophy, which I did not understand before for many years, but now I finally got it. So here's how it goes, guys. You understand the idea of having an Audi Q7 or a BMW X5. This Range Rover Sport is supposed to be a competitor. They're very British, everyone. Whenever I see a Range Rover, I think of the gorgeous British Isles, everyone. The bustling city of London. And then I also think of delicious meals, like British breakfast. Many people who purchase SUVs don't really go off-roading very much, and this is something Range Rover realized. Now, this Range Rover Sport costs 146,000 euros. Is this good value for money or not? We'll find it in a moment, everyone. Let's get on with this review right now. This Range Rover Sport is equipped with a 3-liter diesel engine with 6 cylinders, and it produces 221 kilowatts, just about enough power for an SUV of that size and segment. And for those of you who prefer economic values over performance or something like that, you also have hybrid engines, hybrid petrol engines. Now, one thing that sets this Range Rover Sport apart from its previous generation and probably from other Range Rover models is the fact that this Range Rover Sport is a sports car in disguise. So it looks like a Range Rover, but it performs like a sports car when you choose it to, basically depending on which driving mode button you engage. Far more road friendlier than ever. However, is it as off-road friendly as before? Now, the differences that set the Range Rover Sport apart from its German competitors like the Audi Q7 and the BMW X5 is that the Range Rover Sport is always more classy and always more stylish. It has this unique style to it. It's not very sporty as the German competitors, whereas the German competitors are more practical in terms of option, in terms of equipment, and in terms of ability to be modified. The Range Rover Sport is not a really good choice if you're looking for modifications, but the Range Rover Sport is one of the best choices if you're looking for class. When it comes to the exterior design of the Range Rover Sport, it has remained largely similar to the previous generation, especially by the front. Just the only difference that emerges is that it looks like the big sibling Range Rover. So therefore they have the same front, which is a Velarish theme. And I say Velarish, it's a reference to the Range Rover Velar. In fact, I've noticed Range Rover has an obsession for that theme. So it's like it's all round-edged, and you have this sort of shape. And then these lights, everyone. And then as for the bonnet, you have these designs. I think this is supposed to signify its sportiness, although it has no purpose, guys. It's not an air vent or anything. And same thing goes on here. Now, it looks really nice. It looks stylish, but I just don't think it's necessary. But then that is just my opinion. Otherwise, in terms of style, from a distance, it does look very sporty. The differences that start to emerge is really with the door handles. It's exactly like the Velar, and then exactly like the big sibling Range Rover. These sort of door handles, guys. Now, these handles, they pop out when the car is unlocked, but they go back in when the car is locked. Now, it is remarkable that on the side view, Range Rover has played it rather evolutionary with the Range Rover Sport. If you look at it from here, it looks almost like the first generation, just how it has this sharp edge looking design. Really interesting. Over here is where the differences really emerge. The rear is where it's like a completely different vehicle you're looking at. This is the new Range Rover Sport, and I'm very proud to show you all the rear design. Now, this sort of design is exactly like what you see in the bigger sibling Range Rover, but then over here it's all simple. You just have to admire this extension going on right here. First of all, these two bit of the bodyworks looked interesting, and then you have this extended roof that covers right over the window, and you have the wiper hiding right there, guys. Really interesting. So it's really cool. It's like a cap. Sporty wheels, guys. Really, really nice. These are dark alloys sporty wheels, 5 spokes. You get a 360-degree parking camera, and you also get parking sensors at the front and at the rear. Should be expected. Whilst exploring this Range Rover Sport, I also noticed some questionable aspects, guys. For its price and also for its segment, I just don't understand why do you have this bit of the trim that has no purpose, guys. It's a Range Rover Sport, so it's supposed to be sporty. It's supposed to have an actual air vent. For a price of 146,000 euros, you wouldn't really expect a random mud flap to be present right here. You would expect Range Rover to do something more interesting. A remarkable aspect that separates the Range Rover Sports from the German competitors like the Audi Q7 and the BMW X5 is that the Range Rover Sport has a strong sense of identity, especially with the interior. There's something really relatable, especially to the first ever Range Rover, everyone. The interior of this all-new Range Rover Sport looks far more interesting, it looks far more refined, and it looks far more desirable and better quality as well. Now, the previous generation Range Rovers had a curse for having depreciation. They would depreciate very badly through time. The interior of this Range Rover Sport looks far more promising. However, Range Rover has gone down the route of simplicity and technology. The technology aspect is something I can respect. But simplicity, was it really Range Rover's style? We'll see, everyone. Good news, everyone. On a muddy day, you do not need to worry about the door because this part is covered by the length of this door. Oh, interior of the Range Rover, everyone. Really interesting. Looks very similar to the big sibling Range Rover, but differences start to emerge, and I'm going to tell you all where. One thing I have to point out, guys, is that for a price of 146,000 euros, looks really nice. It feels good, but I'm just under the impression that it's just something does not feel complete compared to the bigger sibling, if you know what I'm trying to say, guys. Like, something feels like it's a bit, it's not there. And then also another thing is that it's all in black, guys. So you get black leather, you get piano black trim. Now, me, I'm the type that prefers beige leather. It'll be interesting, guys, but it's all in black. Now, when it comes to the sporty theme, it pairs very well. But do you really buy a Range Rover for sporty values? You all be the judge. Now, the interior of the Range Rover, everyone, looks really nice. So, this is your infotainment system, and now Range Rover has played it all simple right here. So, it's not many physical buttons as much as before. And it's really cool how Range Rover has gone about it. Although, does it really pair well to the Range Rover theme? Right here, guys, seating memory and seating adjustment right here. Now, the concept of having a seating adjustment right here was not really Range Rover originally. It was all Mercedes first. So, it's really interesting how Range Rover also started doing this, and I saw it with the bigger sibling. It pairs well with the Range Rover theme, but I just think it would have been nicer if it was down there, because that would have been more... Okay, now I understand why it's not down there, because the seat is too close to the door, guys. So, yeah, okay, now it makes sense to put it up here. Now, just look at how close the seat is to the door. This has to be the first time I see this, because usually most competitors always have a gap. And now, this is actually quite good, because that way the door feels closer to the driver. Window controls, guys. I love the presentation of this area right here. Window controls, mirror controls, guys. Center door lock button right there. Your door handle is right there. And you get your Meridian sound system, guys. You get a panoramic sunroof, everyone. Really interesting, with lighting controls. I would just like to touch the topic of the trim again, guys. So you get this interior all in black. It's a black leather seats with then black leather across the interior. Okay, and then over here you get this unique fabric theme right here, which is really good. It looks like a speaker, but it's not. It's really nice, the trim right here. And then you get this trim that I don't know if it's aluminum. I'm not sure, guys, but whatever it is, it's really nice to touch. It's really pleasant, and it's right here as well. Now, it pairs well with the Range Rover Sport theme. Thank goodness it's not carbon fiber. Now, since this is an SUV in the premium segment, we cannot forget to talk about practicality, guys. Now, let's do this. So, this is really exciting, guys. Let's start from here. Cup holders right here. And then, underneath these cup holders, you get a secret passage. So, all I have to do is open sesame. Ta-da! And you get additional storage down there. USB points in there. Really nice. Very cool, guys. I mean, it's so cool. Just multiple storage spaces. And then you get a central console storage. You get this bit of well, storage right here, which I believe this would be for your business card or something. But then you get a deep central console storage, guys. Really interesting. Now that is really nice. Now, something really interesting is happening right here. Underneath this infotainment system, you get a little space for your telephone. Underneath all this, you have additional storage space right here, guys, with a USB point. It's really nice. Okay, and now additional storage space, and then over here you have a nice door bin, guys. Really nice. It's just I don't know if it can fit a big bottle in there, but it's not really deep, guys. Like this whole area has no purpose. It's a bit narrow from here. You want to observe this. Wait. There we go. So 2 storage spaces, guys. One up here and one down there. Now, just watch out for this top one because this one tends to spring back up. So check this out. You have to hold on to it, guys. Now, is it questionable or not? You all be the judge. If you're from the driver's seat, yes, it can be questionable. So don't store anything in there unless you are at the passenger side. Now, the down storage space is really interesting. I like the material it's lined with, but it's not very spacious for its price and segment. You all be the judge. To open these two, you have to push the buttons right up there, guys. Whilst exploring the interior of this Range Rover Sport, guys, I was very impressed, but then at the same time, something about this interior also raised questions, and I'm going to point them out right now. The first thing I'd like to point out is, was simplicity really the way to go for a Range Rover? I personally don't think so, especially with the Range Rover Sport, because, you see, simplicity pairs well with certain themes, okay? But when it comes to Range Rover, it was always proud with status. It was always proud with its designs and everything. The presentation is really good throughout this interior, okay? This has to be the favorite part of the interior. I love this handle. I love the way they've gone about it. Just like the big sibling, Range Rover. Despite the sporty theme of this Range Rover Sport, would you really be using the off-road control that's right there? Or unless this is the driving mode. If this is the driving mode, makes a lot of sense. But if these are off-road controls, no sense. But then again, that's just my thoughts, guys. Please let me know what you all think. Range Rover has decided it's okay to put the start-stop button right next to the media control, right here. Now, wouldn't it make more sense to put the start-stop button right here, maybe, or maybe here, like in conventional cars? I don't know why Range Rover decided it's okay to put it right there in the middle of all the controls. And you don't get any storage space up here for your glasses or anything. On this area, there doesn't seem to be much going on, guys. No additional storage, no controls, nothing is happening over here, guys. Except there's a button to open the rear door, and that's it. Time to check out the rear seats of the Range Rover Sport. I've got a lot of leg room. I have got a lot of knee room. I've got a lot of headroom, guys. Really nice. And the headrest is very pleasant to lean onto. It's firm, but when you touch it, it's got the pleasant quality to it, so it's really nice. Massive door sill, everyone. Meridian sound system. Now, the presentation right here is really nice. You get electric seating adjustments for the rear seats. Heated rear seats, everyone. Really interesting. Air vents right here. 12-volt socket down here. USB point down here, guys. Really, really interesting. Now, when it comes to practicality, you get a nice rear seat pocket for both seats, guys. One down here and one down there. Now, this armrest is really interesting, guys. So, cup holders right here that open very fast. Wow. And then additional storage space right here. Really, really nice. Very premium, guys. Time to explore the boot space of the Range Rover Sport. Now, it's really interesting. You just have to get used to it. The button is underneath here. There we go. The boot space of the Range Rover Sport. Now, the boot space of the Range Rover Sport is it's average for its price and segment. I mean, when it comes to premium segment, practicality is not always the thing you would expect. But here you get buttons to fold down the rear seats, guys. Really interesting. Trailer hitch hook button right here. Shopping hook over here, guys. Really interesting. And then also, you get a nice strap over here for something you want to store in the corner there. And then I just want to take a moment to admire the quality of the rug, the trim. Really nice, guys. I love the material that's lined with it. It feels just at home. All you need is a nice cup of tea, sit on this, and then enjoy the scenery outside. There we go, everyone. The seats go down. There you go. With all the seats flat, you get additional storage space down here. That's if you have to carry a lot of things. Now, for a price of 146,000 euros, would you really use this car to be carrying a lot of goodies in the back? You all be the judge. So here's my conclusion of the Range Rover Sport, everyone. The release of the new Range Rover Sport is a new chapter for Range Rover. So there's something conflicting when it comes to themes, guys, because on one hand you get this Range Rover name, and then on the other hand, Sport. Something's conflicting. For a price of 146,000 euros, is this Range Rover Sport good value for money or not? When it comes to the premium segment, it is not always straightforward to talk about value for money, but we do have expectations nonetheless. I'm inclined to say this is good value for money. I'm not prepared to say this is the best because I was not really a big fan of the interior things that were missing, like additional storage spaces, and there were some parts of the interior that just had nothing going on. And I also couldn't understand what was Range Rover's intention of keeping simplicity in the middle. Like when you look at you're the driver, and then right here the controls. Why do you need to have so much simplicity right there, especially for Range Rover? You know, I think Range Rover was always more interesting when they used to boast their status, when they used to be more flamboyant, when there used to be more buttons. But now they've played it too simple that it's becoming a little bit conflicting. But on the other hand, I'm inclined to say this is good value for money, not okay value for money. Good is better than okay. Good value for money because I really like the history and I really like where Range Rover has come from. Range Rover has worked very hard to developing a SUV that's appealing for road usage and also that can put a direct competition with the German trio, Audi, BMW and Mercedes. Simplicity has become key for Range Rover. Has it played in their favor or not? We'll see about this in long terms, everyone. My opinion of this Range Rover Sport. Oh, I love it. That is my humble opinion of this Range Rover Sport, but I still prefer the big sibling Range Rover. But if you are a fan of sporty trims and sporty wheels and sporty designs for a Range Rover, this Range Rover Sport is just the car for you. So don't forget to like, comment and subscribe and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run, everyone. And I have a question to ask you all. Do you all like this all new Range Rover Sport or do you all prefer the big sibling Range Rover? Me, I personally prefer the big sibling Range Rover, but I do see potentials with the Range Rover Sport. Share your thoughts in the comments. I'm very eager to know.